So okay, so some of the people are joining. Fine. So today fine. So today we are going to start what is Spring Framework and what are the modules involved in that Spring Framework, and so what is the Spring MVC flow. So using Spring, how we can develop a web application using Spring application. So that is what we are going to see now. So let me share my screen. So so you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Just okay. Let me understand this. You told me that you are going to record this session and you are going to upload it into your channel in YouTube.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm going to repeat that because I'm watching the video. Okay, thank you.
Okay, got it. No issue. See, each and every class, you people need to watch again, right? So understand the things perfectly, right? So that is the reason. Instead of giving individually person by person, I will put in common area. So from that common area, you can watch in many times, right? Yeah, fine. So Spring Framework. So Spring Framework. Springboard. So on Springboard is the one module, and within the Spring Framework. So Spring Boot is also related to Spring only. So Spring Boot is also all the functionalities, whatever the functionalities is there in the Spring Framework, it will take Spring Boot. Along with that, some enhanced features, some features like auto configurations, like embedded server. So all those things will come in a Spring Boot. So first of all, we need to know what is these things. So then we will move into the Spring Boot. So before going to the Spring Boot, we should know these things. Fine. So what is using the Spring Framework? We can develop web applications, both REST and SOAP service. So using Spring Framework, we can develop a dynamic web applications. We can develop a dynamic web applications, both RESTful and SOAP web applications. Fine. So okay. So using that we can develop. Okay, fine. So modules of Spring Framework. So what are the modules are involved in a Spring Framework? Like Spring Core, Spring Web, Spring ORM, Spring Security, Spring Context, Spring AOP, and so on, etc. So we have a lot of modules in a Spring. So each module is have its own specific features. But to develop a web application, you need to know these three. So these three are enough. So one is the Spring Core, and second one is the Spring Web. Web in the sense it will comes under web, all the web applications using SOAP service, using RESTful service. We can develop. And also Spring Security. So if you want to provide the security for your application, you can learn Spring Security. So we are going to touch all these modules in our sessions, in our classes. So before entering into the core and before starting into the simple MVC application, later a sample Spring MVC application we will do. After knowing these things, after knowing this Spring MVC flow, we will see sample web application, right? So this is what the Spring modules, and we are going to see now the what is a Spring MVC flow. So how it is handling a request and response. Whenever the client giving the request to the Spring application. So how it will be handled the request and response? What are the internal components? What are the internal components of the Spring framework will help to give the response to the client? We will see now. So how the request is going a particular place, how the response is preparing, and how the response is coming out to coming out to client place. So that is what we are seeing now. So let me open browser. So let me open browser. So GitHub slash yeah. So I will provide this link to you guys, and if you click this. This one only. So now, yeah, here introduction about the Spring MVC, right? Spring Boot, RESTful and SOAP, and Postman and SOAP UI tools. Okay, fine. Here we are going to see. Here we are going to see in a Spring MVC, dispatch servlet class works as a front controller. See, Spring framework is developed. Spring framework is developed on top of servlet only. On top of servlet. So in the Spring framework, the main class, the Spring framework, the main class is the dispatcher servlet class. So dispatcher servlet class. So if you see, if you want to know this dispatcher servlet class before Spring framework, before Spring, we have in the Java world. In the Java world, in the Java world, to develop applications, we have yes, good. Who is that?
I was saying that we use serverless.
Yeah. Servlets. So in this, the main class is the servlet class. So servlet. So in this, the main class is the servlet class. So after that, on top of servlets, struts will come into the picture. Struts framework. Here the main class is the action servlet. Now in the struts also we have a lot of complications, a lot of boilerplate code. Now the Spring is came into the picture. Here the main class is the dispatch servlet. So that is what yeah. So this is the structure. This is the hierarchy. We now the people are moving into the Spring. Previously they used servlet to develop a web applications. In the Java world, they to develop a web application, they use servlet as a to run these web applications. So there are many problems, there are many boilerplate code and a lot of complications. So that the people are moved to the struts framework. So in the struts framework, the main class is the action servlet. Now here also we have a lot of improvements are there, and also a lot of configuration files, and also there is a lot of boilerplate code, so that people are changed to the Spring framework, and Spring framework came into the picture with a lot of modules. So here is the main class is the dispatch servlet. So that is what I want to convey. So here, so now in the Spring MVC, the main class or dispatch servlet class will work as a front controller. So what is front controller? I will tell you now. It is a responsible to manage the flow of Spring MVC application. It is responsible to manage the flow of Spring MVC application. Okay. Here we have some annotations. @controller annotation is used to mark the class as a controller in Spring 3 onwards. So we have a different Spring framework versions. Now, so here from the Spring 3 onwards, we have a annotation. Spring framework is introduced annotations. So @controller is the annotation. It is used to mark the class as a controller in Spring 3. Fine. @request mapping annotation is used to map a request URL. So what is the request URL? What is the use of request mapping? We will see later. So it is the application mentioned below. So if you see this figure, if you see this diagram, so this is the client. It may be tab, or it may be computer, it may be mobile, something like that. So here we are going to give a request to our application. For example, our application Gmail or something, any application, take an example. The request will come here. So this is the application. Assume this is the application. So whenever the request is coming, so internally dispatch servlet will work as a front controller. Front controller in the sense the first request will be taken. First request will touch the dispatch servlet. So dispatch servlet will check this request. The request, how the request will be there in a normal RESTful applications. Request will be like this. So for example, so /vkakala is my some class. So this is assume this is the you can instead of that you can give the HTTPS instead of this one. You can like this. So this is nothing but YouTube is nothing but a host. So here we can place the same application. We can paste like this. So instead of youtube.com, localhost,
The word Spring
localhost,
is wrong now.
like this. Fine. So like this we can prepare the URL. So whenever we are getting this URL, so dispatch servlet will take the URL. So dispatch servlet will take this URL. So it will confuse which class should I pass this request, it will confuse. So at that time it will ask to handler mapping. Hey handler mapping, I am giving one request to you. So please tell me which class should I go and which class should I go? Please tell me, it will ask. So this is the handler mapping. So now the request path, the request URL will go take the handler mapping. Handler mapping will give, hey, this is the YouTube controller. Some YouTube controller will be the one main class. You can convey this. You can convey this URL like this. You can convey this like this. Employee. Forget about this. So like this. So for example, this is the URL. Assume this is the URL. So from this URL, this handler mapping will tell. So you need to go employee. Employee controller. Save employee is the one method. Save employee is the one API or one method. So you need to go like that. This handler mapping will give the response to the dispatch servlet. So at that time, dispatch servlet will know. So which controller it should go. So then it will move into the employee controller. So now employee controller, in obviously this is the controller class is developed by the developer or programmer. So here we are writing some our business logic, so that we are preparing the response here, and we are giving the response to the here. So in terms of model view, we are passing the response here. So model in the sense, a model view is an object. From that object we can send the response here. So now response will be, dispatch servlet will be confused. So model view, so the dispatch servlet don't know which JSP or which page the response should be populated. So the dispatch servlet will again confuse. So now how the taking the help from the handler mapping to find exact controller, the same way we'll ask view resolvers, hey view resolver, please give me a particular view name, so that my response will populate that view name. Like that, it will ask, dispatch servlet will ask to the view resolver. So now the view resolver, by taking this model and view object, it will send the view and model name to the dispatch servlet. Now one of the JSP pages, or one of the JSP pages, we will take the JSP page and we will populate the response to this front end. It will take this model particular JSP page, it will populate the response and the JSP page, and it will take the view, that view JSP page as a response to the front end. So like that, dispatcher servlet will work and as part of request and response. So this is what a Spring MVC flow. So do you have any doubt here? Do you have any doubts? The flow of a simple flow, a basic flow. This is a MVC, a basic flow. In future, we will avoid these things. Why? Because if you are moving into the MVC to the moving into the rest, we no need here. Why? Because nowadays a front end application and back end application are separated, right? Separated, and also it is completely from MVC to it is completely transformed into the RESTful applications, right? So RESTful applications directly we are instead of giving model view, we are directly giving the JSON response to the front end. So directly it will come here. So no need, it will not go to the view resolver and all. Directly it will go to the response to the client. So that we will see RESTful applications. But before RESTful applications, we should know the basic flow of a Spring MVC flow. So that is the reason I mentioned here. If you come here, the same figure, the same diagram, I draw like this. So the request will come to the dispatch servlet it will act as a front controller. It will ask to handler mapping. Hey, handler mapping, please give the controller name, so that I will go inside the controller, so that it will again come like this. This is the order. The 1 is the request, 2 is it will ask handler mapping, 3 will be the response. It will come to the dispatch servlet. Again, it will go to the particular controller, and it will give the response as a model view object. Again, it will ask the view resolver. Hey, view resolver, please tell me which JSP I need to go. So again, it will give the response, and now it will go to the view pages. One of the view pages which are developed in your application. Again, it will take the view page and it will display the data to the browser or client, the request wherever it is coming like that. So this is the diagram, and I given the step. First request will be received by the dispatch servlet, and dispatch servlet will take the help of handler mapping to get know controller class name associated with the given request. So like that, step by step, I written each and every line. So third one. So here dispatch servlet will take. So dispatch servlet will take the help of handler mapping, and it get to know controller class name associated with the given request. Fine. So the request transfer the controller. Now the request will be transferred to the controller. So controller, then the controller will process the request by executing appropriate methods and returns the model view object. It contains model data and view name. Model data in the sense the response, it should be populated to the front end. That is nothing but a model data, and back to the dispatch servlet. So again, it will come to the dispatch servlet. Now what will happen? Now the dispatch servlet send the model object to the view resolver to get actual view page. To get the actual view page in the sense whether it is an HTML, whether it is a normal page. So now finally dispatch servlet will pass the model object to the view page and display the result. So it will take the view name and it will display the result. Yeah, come. You have any doubts?
Yes, I have one doubt, because I know very well what about the controller, the dispatch servlet, the view resolver, and the view. But I'm just wondering how you can physically work. What files are the handler controller? Because I know about the controller, because all of the annotations of controller are the classes. So maybe the class of employee with the method like save employee. This is part of the controller. But about the handler, and that part, the red one, can I see?
See, actually, in our handler mapping, yes. Handler mapping and dispatch servlet and view resolver will not appear physically whenever you are writing a code. These are the internal components of a Spring framework which will take care of request and response. So beyond the scenes, beyond the code, these are the classes from the Spring framework which will help you program whenever you are writing. When you are writing only controller only, you are writing only controller. Coming to here, I will show you the example. See, you are writing like this only. You don't have any handler mapping. You don't have any front controller like this. So whenever the request is coming like this, see, here is the employee modules. So you read the employee module. So like that, we have an employee module. We have an employee module. This is the get employees, right? This is the get employee, the path. So this is the get employee. So this is the actual path. This is the actual path. So now, based on this employee module, so handler mapping will help. Handler mapping will help internally. It will check the based on the
Oh,
request.
that's
It will check
internally.
and
Okay.
yeah, internally check, and it will take the employee using this employee module. Using this employee module, it will sense, oh, this is the employee class. After that get employees. After that get employees. So we have a get employees, the path. This is nothing but a request mapping. By reading request mapping value, it will come here. It will come here. It will come inside this method. Got it? So
Got it.
so programmatically we write like this only, but internally backend, the backend dispatch servlet will ask the handler mapping. Hey, handler mapping, which controller should I go? So definitely employee controller. Based on your path, it will tell, hey, you need to go employee controller. Now it will come here. So employee controller will come here. So then whatever we writing here, automatically the response will go here. Whether it is a string, whether it is any kind of return type, you can return based on your requirement. Got it?
Got it. Yes, because I believe that the only connection from the controller to the dispatcher servlet was transparent. So for that reason, I say, where is the handler mapping? Because I know that
that will happen. That will
goes to the controller directly. I didn't know about the handler mapping.
It is a miracle, but internally framework will take care of that. You don't need to worry. Internally framework will take care of that. Yeah.
Got it.
But even though it is internally framework will take care of that, but as a developer, you should know what happened behind that. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So this is what.
Thank you.
So now, if the employee controller is the normal Java class, if you want to enable a Spring recognized class, so that you need to use @controller given by the framework. So whenever you are using the @controller, then your Spring framework will recognize your class. It will register. Whenever we are running the application, it will register. Oh, this is the employee controller. Why? Because the developer is mentioned @controller on top of this class, so that I will treat as this is the controller class. Like that, it will treat whenever we are using a controller. So whenever we are using a request mapping of a path of this class, so that handler mapping will help with the dispatch servlet. So based on this path, hey, we already the client is requested like this path. So I found employee module is the one path and get employee is the one API from the employee controller. Like that, it will tell dispatch servlet, so that the request will directly come to here. Got it?
Got it. Yes. For me was transparent from everything goes into the context, because for example, all the names of the request mapping to the class, that the name of the class, everything has to be in the context of the Spring. So with that,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is the reason. Before writing the class, before starting the class, we should know what happened behind the scene. How the request is coming to here. That is nothing but a Spring MVC flow. So like this, it will come request. This controller is nothing but our controller is written by developer. It may be employee controller. It may be ABCD controller, it may be transport controller, it may be payment controller. See, whatever you are developing a web application, based on that, you can name your controller, right?
Yeah.
Got it? So that is what a Spring MVC flow. Tomorrow we will see, and also see before starting this application. So you people should. So one second.
Read your video to watch your video.
Yeah, exactly. So that you will understand the things. If I start today this class, so you may lose, right? You may miss something. Yeah, the first flow will be missed. So first 2 classes I will take very So let me give this path to you guys. So please, and also I will upload this video, and I will share. Yeah, I will share to. Sorry. Fine. So I will share this application to. Sorry. Yeah, I will share this application to this video. Once I uploaded this video into YouTube channel, I will share this link to you guys. Please read this. What are we discussed up to here? So up to here, fine. So later we will see what is the Spring REST, and what is the Spring MVC REST flow. We will see later. But up to here, please understand up to here, and by seeing this video, okay? Fine, right?
Yeah.
So whatever I'm saying, you're following, right?
So can you say again?
So whatever I'm saying, you people are following, right?
Yes, I'm following.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So this video I will upload. This video I will upload to the our channel, so that you can please watch before starting tomorrow's class. From the tomorrow onwards, we are stepping into the programming. How we are going to write a Spring MVC application, and what are the things we need to configure as part of Spring MVC application, and how we can run and execute Spring MVC application, and how we are going to give the request to the Spring MVC application. We will see tomorrow. But before starting Spring MVC application, we should know what is Spring MVC functional flow. So what are the components are involved as part of Spring MVC flow we learned today. So tomorrow we directly jump into the example. Okay?
Got it.
Got it, right? So thanks,
Okay.
friends. Thanks for your time, and we will meet tomorrow. Please read this page, and please read this tutorial, so that tomorrow class you will be understand very effectively. Okay?
Totally.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
good.
no problem.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to close this session today. We will meet tomorrow at the same time.
Okay.
Take care of
Okay.
yourself.
See you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a
Have a
good
good
night.
one, everyone.
Bye.
See you
Good
tomorrow.
Yeah.
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 Bye.
Good night.